Please rise for silent invocation, followed by pledge of allegiance. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will clerk call the roll?
Councilman Foley?
Here.
Councilman Gephardt?
Here.
Councilman Green?
Here.
Vice Mayor Rhodes?
Here.
Mayor Stillman?
Here. Right, agenda item number 4. The public hearing is now convened to discuss the millage rate and budget. The fiscal year 2026 budget commences on October the 1st, 2025 and continues through September 30th, 2026. We will begin with the city council discussion of the tentative millage necessary to fund the fiscal year 2026 tentative budget for the city of Port Orange. The city is the taxing authority, and the current year taxable value for operating purposes is $5,857,514,423. The tentative millage rate is 4.975 mils per $1,000 of valuation, which represents a 4.10% increase in ad valorem tax revenues above the rollback rate of 4.7790. In addition to the foregoing tentative millage levy, there is a voter-approved millage levy of 0.1623 mils necessary to fund the debt service payments on the 2006 general obligation bonds for public safety capital facilities, which were refunded in 2016. Mr. City Manager, will you please comment on the increase in millage over the rollback rate and the specific purposes for the increase?
Yes, sir. The proposed millage of 4.9750, as you stated, is an increase of 4.1% over the rollback millage rate of 4.7790 and is related to the following operational and capital needs in the general fund. From the operational side, we have contractual obligations to our personnel through the union contracts and our general civil service employees. So that's police, fire, general employees, and civil service. We were able, with police being fully staffed, to add new officers in the police department, and we also have employees towards the end of the year in Parks Department that are coming in to staff as we build under the bond projects. In addition to that, we have estimated increases in our health and workers' comp insurance and our property casualty insurance, and we have a number of vendor contracts that have escalating prices included as part of the contracts. From the capital side of things, the major projects in the general fund include $3 million for the City Center ball fields, this project over here behind us, which is capping the landfill area and sealing that up for long-term, and then that park improvement. And there's another about $1.2 million in other parks projects, the Karasi ball field getting an upgrade for better soil out there, the Memorial Park sidewalk, so we just did the piers under FEMA money. The sidewalk will be repaired and replaced out there, City Center restroom, Causeway Park fishing pier, and drainage at the skate park. In addition to that, there's about $200,000 to replace generators here at City Hall and the one at Rec that was left there, so that's an original in that building, so they're both being replaced. Spruce Creek Road paving is our largest paving project next year. That's about $400,000, and we also have fire engine replacements. That concludes my summary of the operational and capital needs that impact the millage rate, and I turn it back over to council.
Okay, at this time, we will ask council for discussion regarding the reasons for the increase in tentative millage above the rollback rate. Councilman Green, let's start with you.
I don't have a real, okay, so let me ask you this, Wayne. So we have the rollback rate was 4.7790. Do we add the 0.1623 to that number? Is that what we're saying? So that number would be the rollback number plus the mills required to fund the debt service for the police department? Is that, am I saying that right, or how am I?
Yeah, so the 0.1623 is a separate voter referendum approved millage that will be added to whatever you come up with here tonight, whether that would be rollback or whether that would be what's proposed here tonight.
Okay, so that number has nothing to do with the number as of tonight, and
No,
nor,
sir.
and nor does the, recreation bond, correct?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, so, I don't have anything right now.
Yeah, that number was something approved from the voters back in
Right, right.
2006. So, Councilman Gifford.
Actually, I don't really have anything to comment.
Okay. Tracy?
Now, when we look at the overall picture at a 4.1% increase on the ad valorem tax, you look at that and you go, okay, we're really talking about a 1% increase over the cost of living. I mean, cost of living has went up exponentially over the years. 3% is 2 to 3% is what everybody always gauges things on. So we're talking about 1% over that to function the city. Now, granted, I think in years past councils have always tried to go back to rollback, and it was always 0, 0, 0. And I would love to be able to tell taxpayers that we're not going to have an increase, but eventually that comes back to bite us. So having a cost of living increase and paying staff the money and the values that they're needing and their worth to be able to increase of cost of living for our staff 4%, I think is a superb job that our staff has come up with. So I'm good.
Councilman Foley, right ahead.
I think we've hashed this out a lot over, various meetings, so I don't really have a whole lot to comment. Just, move on with the process.
So, appreciated the comments there from Councilman Grubb. So, cost of living is certainly part of the factor. The other factor is cost of materials and products, which always doesn't fit into the cost of living envelope. And one of the things that I have learned being on city council is that municipal government is absolutely not immune to those things. So when the cost of concrete, pavement, materials, all those different kind of things, fuel, vehicles, all those kind of things that we see get impacted globally, they impact us just the same. So there's no like special deal, so to speak, that municipalities or county governments are immune from those kind of things. So it really does come down to trying to work a budget together to maintain the cost of the quality of life that the residents and the business owners in the city of Port Orange have come to expect and want to maintain. And there's always going to be a little bit of, we want more, we want less, we want more but pay less and all that kind of stuff, and we completely appreciate that. I will also comment that one of the things that I am very proud of, and I think we've made note of it in the past, is that we have a senior staff here in the city that has done a really good job of finding ways to do things with less and save money. And that happens many, many times that people really don't see or they don't know about, but it happens, and it's been beneficial to help us keep the property taxes in the city of Port Orange amongst the lowest in all of Volusia County. So I applaud that. I encourage that. I would like to consider, continue to see staff being motivated to continue to always look for savings and better ways to do things and ways to stretch every dollar of taxpayer money, because they're taxpayers as well. So I can truly appreciate that. All right, let's see if there's any public comment. The council will now hear public comments regarding the proposed tentative millage. The general public will be allowed to address the council and make comments and to ask questions. Does anybody from the public wish to speak tonight on this? All right, back to council. Anybody, any further comments here from the council at all?
Yeah, I have something I
Go
have
ahead.
to say.
Jump right in.
When we had our budget meetings last month, we had actually the city came, the staff came to us with, I want to say it was 5.03, am I correct?
Yes.
And then we basically agreed to lock in at a maximum millage rate of 5.0. And now the staff has come back and is actually showing us an actually lower millage rate of 4.975. So I want to just commend you on doing everything you can to work within your departments to bring that number down. I was pretty vocal about wanting to be able to provide you with the tools that you need to do what last night, Lance brought up a really good point. Hey, there's a lot of things in our city that don't look really good, and we need to put some pressure on our code enforcement, which I think this year we finally got fully staffed, the new code enforcement officer. So we appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results of that, but you have to have the tools, and that's one of the things that I brought up in those budget meetings was we can't continue to kick the can down the road, otherwise it's going to catch up to us and we're going to be behind. And there's a lot of cities that are behind with higher millage rates than Port Orange. I think we're number 4 out of 16 as the lowest. So we've done a phenomenal job in Port Orange keeping the quality of life, managing our assets, managing our expenses, thanks to your leadership, and I greatly appreciate that. Coming into office, I met with our department heads and asked them, what do you need? And I want to make sure that our council gives you what you need to do your jobs. And to know that our fire services are almost fully staffed and our police is fully staffed, that's huge. And I was on my way back from DeLand today and I saw where Winter Park is aggressively advertising in Volusia County for police officers in our town, in our county. There's a big billboard. They're paying probably $3,000 a month to advertise, to recruit our police officers. So we got to remain competitive, and we only do that by these tough conversations and these adjustments to our millage rates to make sure the money's coming in. We just gave an opportunity to the citizens of Port Orange to come talk to us about this. We're getting ready to make a decision tonight on your taxes, and we have 9 people in the room. I think the people in Port Orange are really happy with what's going on. They live here for a reason, and I hear that when I ask them, what made you choose Port Orange? It's because of when you drive down through our communities, we want to live in these communities. So we might got to make sure that we give our staff the tools. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish. I'm done
Okay.
with my comments.
Okay. Lance, anything else?
No.
Gentlemen, down on this end? Okay, then that's going to move us over to agenda item number 5. Mr. City Attorney, can you read resolution number 25-41 for tentative city millage?
We won't need that one to be read. We'll just take the motion. It'll be a lengthy motion.
Okay. At this time, I'll ask for a motion and a second for resolution number 25-41.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 25-41, adopting the city of Port Orange for year 2026 tentative millage rate of 4.975 mils per 1,000 evaluation.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Grubbs. Any further discussion from council on that? No? Anybody from the public wish to speak to that agenda item? Seeing none, back to council. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilman Foley?
No.
Councilman Gephardt?
Yes.
Councilman Green?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grubbs?
Yes.
Mayor Stiltner?
Yes, 4-1. The adopted tentative millage rate of 4.975 mils per 1,000 of valuation is a 4.10% increase in ad valorem tax revenues above the rollback rate. In addition to the foregoing tentative millage levy, there is a voter-approved millage levy of 0.1623 mils necessary to fund the debt service payments on the 2006 general obligation bonds for public safety capital facilities, which were refunded in 2016. Agenda item 6. Can I have a motion for resolution number 25-42 for tentative city budget?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution number 25-42, adopting the city of Port Orange for year 2026 tentative budget.
And second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any comment from council? Gentlemen? No? Okay. Anybody from the public wish to comment on agenda item number 6? Seeing none, back to council. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilman Foley,
Yes.
Councilman Gephardt,
Yes.
Councilman Green,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gross,
Yes.
Mayor Skelton.
Yes, 4-1.
5-0.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5-0. My apologies. The budget includes all operating and capital costs for fiscal year 2026. This budget includes the general, special revenue, debt service, capital, enterprise, and internal service funds. The proposed citywide fiscal year 2026 budget for all funds is $223,696,012. On to agenda item 7. Can I have a motion for resolution number 25-46 for adoption of the fiscal year 26 stormwater rates?
Move to approve resolution number 25-46, adopting the City of Port Orange fiscal year 2026 stormwater rate.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion from council. Lance, something you want to say?
I'm a little confused as to what exactly this is, as far as, what is the rate? Is the rate on here, or
I believe the rate was 140 and now we're going to 160.
is that what we're doing?
Correct.
Okay.
45.
It was 145, we're going to 160.
Annually.
Okay.
Annually.
It was part of a recommendation to phase this in over
Yeah,
a
yeah.
3-year period. Is that right? Yeah.
This
Okay.
is year 3 of the.
Yep. This is
Okay.
year 3 of
Yep,
it.
got it, all right.
Anything else?
Nope.
This is needed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is the money that we need the most in the city for stormwater projects. So
All right. Anybody in the public want to speak to it? Thank you, Robert. Come on up. Welcome,
Mayor,
sir.
council members, Robert Reinhagen, 1425 Dexter Drive, Port Orange. Section 3 says that an equivalent dwelling unit is 3,050 square feet of impervious surface, with 1 EDU assigned per dwelling unit on residential property. So whether you've got 2,000 feet of square feet of house or 12,000 square feet, you're still going to pay the same amount, the one equivalent dwelling unit. And yet, for non-residential properties, it uses the total impervious surface of 3,000 square feet compared to the square feet. Yeah, I got that backwards. It uses a little on non-residential properties, total impervious surface of 3,000 square feet to determine the number of ED units assigned. So you're making adjustments for the non-residential, but you don't make any adjustments for the residential. So I think there's an inequity there. And what I think, besides the inequity of how big the house is, but I would think that what would be more equitable would be a ratio, the impervious to the non-impervious of the entire lot. So that if you have an equal amount of impervious and impervious, then you would have one equivalent dwelling unit. And if your property, if you have twice as much of your land to non-impervious compared to the impervious, then you pay a half. And if you have twice as much land devoted to the house as to the landscape, then you would pay 2 EDUs. And I think that'd be a lot more equitable. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Anyone else wish to speak to this? Come on up. Welcome.
Thank you. My name's Kelly Millwater. I live on Galleon Court, and I'm glad to hear you're doing drainage for Spruce Creek, but I live behind Spruce Creek. I've been sending emails since 2023. I even spoke to the mayor personally on December 7th of 24, and he said he would look into our drainage problem, because we have no drainage spot on our street. there's room for one, but there's not one. And the storm, so we had Saturday night, we still have water all over. The yards are wet, the roads still have water in them, and I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't mind paying my share to contribute, but I would like some benefit from them. So I would like a response to that, please.
Thank you. What street did you say you live on?
I'm sorry?
What street did you say you live on?
Galleon.
Can you
Galleon?
spell that for me?
Galien.
What subdivision is that? I'm not familiar.
Cove. The Cove.
Cove subdivision. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak to this? All right, back to council. Anybody else on council or staff want to
I
respond
think,
to anything?
I
Go
think, Robert brings up a good point, because you gotta think about it. Every single person that owns a house is paying the same regardless of what size. And, you know, and I'm about usage, and about usage fees, I guess. But if I go out there and I got, you know, a big, like he's saying, big house on a lot, I'm putting more water into the system than some guy who owns a duplex. I mean, I think it's right, and I would think that, and I don't know if it's, you know, too late, because we've set it basically at a set rate versus a square foot rate or lot size rate. But I do think that is a good point. Moving forward, maybe that's something that we look into, that, because I've thought the same thing, but I think the same thing about property tax too. I think just because you've got a bigger house doesn't mean you gain more service. You're getting, you know, you're getting more service for the size of your house or the value of your home, and same thing here. But you're paying the same fee for a guy who's got a big house or a small house. It doesn't quite seem equitable. He's correct. I feel like he's correct.
I don't know how they determine that. Maybe staff can help me
So-
educate me. on-
First,
how
remember
we
tonight,
bring
you're only
about
voting on the
so-
fee, so the how it's calculated is in the ordinance, and you wouldn't be able to address that tonight anyway.
Yeah,
That
right.
was done like 3 or 4 years ago when we reworked the ordinance of how to calculate it. We had a company that came in and did an analysis and helped us do fee studies for both our utilities. It's a fairly common way to do it, breaking it up. The calculation that he was trying to get to is that everything's tied to that equivalent residential unit, and so you just take that amount of impervious for commercial and divide it by the 3,000, and they would get charged for 3 or 4 of them depending on how much they pave. The houses, I have seen people try to figure that out as to what you don't want to end up is such a complicated building schedule that you've got 15 or 20 different ways to build a single family house, because it's a relatively small amount of money over the course of a year. So you're talking about $10 or $15 if you start doing breakdowns by under 1,000 square foot homes, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 3,000. So I think most cities just take a larger size home and say everything below it has about, at the scale of the price you're paying for stormwater, it's a meaningful number. So I'm not the expert in fee creation. We actually had a company that did that, but that was the gist of that conversation when they were here, is that's fairly standard, and that number, that's getting you a reasonable cost with the cost per square footage. But if council wants to readdress these things, we can do those as we go forward. But
And I will just tell you that you're going to get plenty of that discussion in the coming year.
Yeah.
With some of the things that are on the horizon and changes that are being considered and touted. Hang on, because that conversation is going to get incredibly complex and deep, as does this. I will just say that we have far more residential rooftops than we have business rooftops. Yet when it comes to property taxes, it's the businesses that get hit hardest in most in the city.
Yeah.
And they get hit hard. And so I think we're not going to have this huge discussion tonight, but I'm just saying that I get the point. I think Robert brings up a valid point. It's always something you want to continue to look at. I think it could be incredibly complex.
Yeah.
Because you're also going to have the arguments that you've got a lot of your neighborhoods that were developed post 1999 that were built with different standards, and they don't have as many of the stormwater related issues that some of the older areas that were never built with those standards and folks like that that wasn't part of the package when those neighborhoods were built and constructed. But anyway, that's a discussion for another time. Anything else related to the agenda item? All right, I don't want to get us too far off track. All right, we have a motion and a second for resolution number 25-46. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilman Foley?
Yes.
Councilman Gumpert?
Yes.
Councilman Green?
Yes?
Vice Mayor Brooks?
Yes.
Mayor Stillman?
Yes, 5-0. Anything else to come before us tonight? All right, thank you guys for being here tonight, and thank you for those that participated and showed up tonight. We hope everybody has a great night.